How do you ask for a referral? What do you say to get someone to connect you with another person who's absolutely perfect for your business? I'm going to share the answers to those questions with you on this episode of the Do This, Sell More show. Welcome to another edition of the Do This, Sell More show. My name is Dave Lorenzo, and I am thrilled that you're with us. Thanks for joining us. I am glad that you're a member of our community. Today, we're going to answer the time-honored question, how do you ask for a referral? I've heard this over and over again. Even some of my most sophisticated clients say to me, I'm just not comfortable asking people to connect me with other people so that I can do business with them. Well, today we're going to put all that to rest. I'm going to share with you not just the one question you ask to get a referral, because you don't just ask one question. I'm going to share with you a process that can help you get referrals from people time and time again. I'm going to share that process with you because once you do this, once you execute on this process, people are going to be falling all over themselves to bring business to your doorstep. The underlying premise of everything we do here at the Do This, Sell More show is deliver value first, develop a relationship, then you can ask for something in return. It's no different with referrals. I'm going to share this exact process with you today on this episode of our show. Before I do, I need to remind you that we are fueled, we are powered by your questions. I want you to send me your questions. You can send them to this email address, askdave@dlorenzo.com, ASKDAVE at DLORENZO.com, askdave@dlorenzo.com. The answers to your questions will be shared on the show. If you send me a video, if you record a video and you send it to me at that email address, I'll pull out the audio and use it in the podcast. I may use the video on my YouTube show or on my show on the C-Suite Network. And if I do, your face, your video, your question will be on the show with me. Wouldn't that be great? It's a great opportunity for you to promote yourself. And if you share your address, I will send you a little bonus gift, one of my books, as a thank you for sending me your question. Our show is powered by your questions. Sometimes we receive an overwhelming amount of questions on one topic, and we'll make a whole show on that exact topic. So thank you in advance for sending me your questions. Thanks for joining me today. Now, let's talk about how you can get more referrals than you ever dreamed possible. As I said, the referral process is designed for you to deliver value first, develop a relationship, and then ask for referrals. So what does that mean, deliver value first? I first want you to refer somebody to the other person. This is ideal because people refer business to you in the way that you refer business to them. Now, there are three ways that you can give a referral to somebody else. There are three ways you can pass a referral to someone else. The first way is simply by connecting the two people via email. So someone wants to meet somebody that you know very well. You do an email and you do an email introduction of both parties. You copy both parties on the email and you send the email off. That's the first way you can connect people. It's the first way you can refer business to somebody else. The second way to refer business to somebody else is over the telephone. You pick up the phone and you say, Joe Smith, it's great to talk to you. Listen, I have my friend Howard here. Howard absolutely wants to do business with you. Hold on while I put him on the phone. And you hand the phone to Howard. Or you do a three-way conference call. Or you can even do, which I prefer to do rather than a conference call, a video meeting like Zoom or Skype, where the three of you get on the video meeting. You make the introduction and the two people get to talk initially, and then they can set an appointment to meet either in person or have a private phone call. That's the second way. The third way to do the referral, to pass the referral, is through in-person meetings. Now, to me, this is the gold standard. This is the best because you care so much about these two people that you're willing to invest your time in hosting the meeting, and you're passing the credibility from one person to another by being there in person. My experience is that 90% of the time, if you host an in-person meeting, the people will get together and do business with one another. That's why I prefer to do the in-person introductions. The thing about that is it takes time. It's difficult. However, if the person that you're looking to work with is really valuable, you will take the time to make that introduction. So these are the 3 ways you can pass a referral to someone else. Why do I tell you about these 3 ways? You train people to refer business to you based on how you refer business to them. So if you want to get email introductions, do all your referrals, pass all your referrals by email. If you want phone calls or Skype meetings or Zoom meetings where you're on video with everybody, then that's the way you should pass your referrals. If you want in-person referrals, deliver in-person referrals yourself. You're demonstrating to other people how you want to be referred by your behavior. That's a critical point. When you're doing these introductions, if you do them a certain way, people will respect your wishes and they'll follow that way with you. Okay, so that's the first step, deliver value. The second step is follow up. After you've connected the people, after you've made that introduction, you need to call both parties and follow up and see how it went. The reason you're doing that is because you're training people to follow up with you after their referrals. That's really important. The second reason is you want everybody to be happy. You want the person you're delivering the business to be happy. You want the person receiving the business to be happy. Everybody needs to be on the same page. So following up is critical. I would put a follow-up appointment on your calendar to make the phone call to both people 1 week after you've connected them. And that follow-up is essential. After you follow up, the person is going to say thank you. When they say thank you, here's the statement that you should use. It's my pleasure. I know you do the same for me. It's my pleasure. I know you do the same for me. When you say that, the person on the other end of the line is going to say to you, well, of course I would do the same for you. And then it's up to you to say, would you like to hear who I'd like to meet? Would you like to hear who I'd like to meet? Now, once that happens, once you say that, they're going to say, sure, I'd love to hear who you'd like to meet. Now comes the critical part. When you ask for a referral, you need to ask for someone by saying, I've noticed you're connected to. You give their name, you state their position, you state their company, and then you state the industry that they work in. I'd like to meet Joe Smith. He's the president of Acme Pharmaceutical Company. He works in the pharmaceutical industry, and they have a big drug now specifically focused on helping people see better. Then you tell them the reason why you want to meet him. I want to meet Joe because in his last shareholder report, he announced that he was having problems with employee turnover. I help companies just like his reduce employee turnover. That's why I want to meet him. I noticed on LinkedIn that you're connected and you both sit on the board of directors of the Joe Smith Charity Association. I want you to introduce me so I can help him with his turnover. Will you help me? That's the script. Now, I'm going to break that script down and explain why each element is so important. Of course, you give the name because they know the person and you're going to mention the name so they know who you're talking about. You give the position because in case they know someone else in that same position, they may want to refer you to that person too. Same thing with the company and the industry. They may know other people in the company and it makes sense for you to meet those other people as well. Or they may know other people in that industry and it makes sense for you to know those people as well. You'll notice that I also said in there, I want you to introduce me because, and then you give the reason why. This is so important. It's absolutely critical because you want to give them a reason for reaching out to this person, especially if you're calling a C-level executive or somebody who's high up in the company. They need a reason why. They have to have a reason for making the phone call. They have to have a reason for setting the meeting. Giving a compelling reason is essential. The final element of this that I want to make sure I stress to you is that you've already done research and you know that this person is on the board of directors with the other person. This person plays golf every Thursday with the other person. This person is connected to them on LinkedIn because they went to college together. Only ask for referrals that you already know the people know well enough to reach out and make the call. Why? Number one, you don't want to put them in an awkward situation. If they haven't talked to this person in 10 years, I don't want them to have to tell you, I haven't talked to them in 10 years because he said something stupid at a dinner party. You don't want to get into all that, right? The second thing is I want to make sure that this is a good opportunity and that they feel a little bit of pressure to make this happen. So if they know that you know this person, they're going to feel that pressure and they're going to want to make something happen. The final thing, you notice that I said there, I asked specifically, will you help me? It is very difficult for someone to refuse an offer of help, refuse an offer of assistance from somebody who has helped them. You already passed a referral to this person. Now you're asking for help from the person who received help from you. That is a tough request to say no to. It's powerful for you to ask for help. It makes you vulnerable, and that's where all the power comes from. Will you help me? That's where all the power comes from. So that's the script. That's how you ask for a referral. That's the entire process. Your task is to do this at least once every day. So what does that mean? You need to be referring someone out every day, so 1 week later you can follow up and receive a referral back. Think about that for a minute. There are 5 work days in a week that you can call people, Monday through Friday. If you're referring somebody out every day, Monday through Friday, and then you're calling someone else and receiving a referral back Monday through Friday, you could potentially get 20 referrals a month. That's 20 opportunities to connect with people who can deliver business to your doorstep. That's powerful. Now is the time in our show where we take a question from someone in our audience. And today's question comes from a lawyer in Cleveland. That's right. It is Phil Schwartz, who's a lawyer in Cleveland. Phil is a trust and estates attorney in Cleveland. And Phil asks, what do you do when someone says they gave your name to a prospect as a referral, but they don't connect you? This, Phil, is not a referral. It is an invitation for a cold call. I thank you for your question, and I hear this all the time. People will tell me even, hey, I heard this company was looking for a marketing consultant, and I gave them your name. They don't tell me who, they don't tell me how, they don't tell me when, and they sure as heck don't tell me why they're looking for a marketing consultant. So basically they're inviting me to cold call through the company and look for someone who may or may not know my name. That's useless. Equally as useless is the referral where people give out 3 names. And this is particularly prevalent in professional services, particularly with accountants and with lawyers. People will give the names of 3 people that you can go see. That's not a referral. That's a list of 3 names. That's all it is. And it offers no value to either party. It doesn't do any good to the person receiving, and it doesn't do any good to the person giving. So here's what I would do in the first scenario that Phil raises, and then in the second scenario with the 3 names, I'll tell you what I would do. It's almost identical. What I do in this case is I say, I'm so appreciative that you shared my name. Can you please do an email to the person whose name you gave my name to and copy me on the email and make an introduction? I will follow up with a phone call afterwards. That would be fantastic. When the 3 names comes up, I say to the person, thank you so much for thinking of me. I appreciate that you put me on a list with 2 other people. Would you do me the favor of introducing me directly to that person? You can do it by email with me copied on the email. You can do it by telephone. I'd like to follow up, so I would appreciate an introduction. When you hear this, I gave your name to someone, or when you hear I put your name on a list of 3, you've got to retrain the person how to refer you. So make sure you focus on getting them to do it the right way and teaching them how to do it the right way in the future. You don't need to scold them. You don't need to say to them, oh, that's terrible. It's an invitation to a cold call. Even that guy Lorenzo on YouTube says that's stupid. Why would you do that? Don't say that. That's death. What you say is, I really appreciate you thinking of me. Thank you so much. Can you do me a favor? Can you do an email introduction to that person for me so that I can follow up with them? And when you hear the 3 names, don't say, oh, that's the worst. You put my name with 2 other people. They're never going to call me now. Don't do that either. You say, thank you so much for putting me on that list. Would you mind making an email introduction so that I can connect with the person and follow up and see where they are in the process? You're teaching them how to refer you without being nasty, without insulting them. You're making sure that you get the name and you can follow up. You take control of the process back. That's our show for today. This is the Do This Sell More show. My name is Dave Lorenzo. We're here every day, and I am so glad that you're a part of our community. Thanks for joining us. Remember, send me your questions. Phil, thanks for the question today. Send me your questions to askdave@dlorenzo.com. And until tomorrow, make sure you do this and sell more.